0, 1.
Let's get started.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host Andreas. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Not going to be a long one tonight, but I do have what I believe is going to be the 2025 list numbers. We saw today on the website when Collingwood posted a video of the new draftees. We got a hold of their numbers. So we've got a list of what I think is pretty much spot on what the jumper numbers will be. So we'll just cut straight to it. Number 1, Patrick Lipinski. Number 2, Jordan De Goey. Number 3, Isaac Quainer. Number 4, Maynard. Number 5 will be Jamie Elliott. Number 6, Tom Mitchell. 7, Josh Dacos. Number 8 will be Lockie Schultz. Number 9 will be Dan Houston. Number 10, Scott Pendlebury. Number 11, Dan McStay. Number 12, Harry Perryman. Number 13, Harry Di Matteo. Geez, I hope he breaks into the side this season. Number 14, Darcy Cameron. Number 15, Will Parker. Number 16, Ed Allen. Number 17, Billy Frampton. Number 18 is Finn McRae. 19 is TJ. Number 20 is Ilora Smith. Number 21, Oscar Steen. 22, Steele Sidebottom. 23, Bobby Hill. 24, Jacob Ryan. 25, Jack Crisp. 26 will be Reef McGuinness. 27, Joel Cochran. 28, Tim Membry. 29, Charlie West. 30 is Darcy Moore. 31, Bo McCreary. 32, Will Hoskin-Elliott. 33 is Lockie Sullivan. 34, currently vacant. 35, Nick Dacos. 36, Harvey Harrison. 37, Oleg Markov. 38, Jeremy Howe. 39, Will Hayes. 40, Ash Johnson. 41, Brody Myercheck. Obviously 42 is retired. 43, Charlie Dean. 44, Ned Long. 45, vacant. And 46 is Mason Cox. So that'll be the list, what I believe is spot on for the numbers. So I will post that on my Instagram. So if you can, jump on the Instagram and I'll put that list up there. I think this is pretty much spot on. Obviously, Dan Houston would have been, regardless, Dan Houston would have had a single digit number, I would have thought, and the only one available was 9. I thought maybe there was a chance that if he wasn't going to get a single digit number, he probably would get number 15 because he was 5 at Port Adelaide. But with that being said, it's probably better that he did get the number 9, and I think that'll look better when he plays as well. But yeah, let's get to the next topic. But they're the numbers, and they'll be posted up on the Instagram later tonight. So just going back on numbers that Collingwood champions or past players have worn that the new draftees the new draftees are going to wear. So I just wanted to see like who can remember, or like, you know, just a blast from the past really, now that we know who's wearing what. 27 is an interesting number at Collingwood. The last one to wear that obviously was Jack Bytel, who the season just passed. The other ones were Murray Weedman, which is like way before obviously my time. I'm not that old. And the other one was Craig Starcevich. I believe Craig Starcevich wore 27, and I think he played about 130 games, something like that for Collingwood. It's probably about 130 games, 125 games, something like that. He played for Collingwood. So I mean, he's a premiership player, so that's a decent number to wear coming into the Pies. Hopefully he makes it his own. I'm all for players, getting a number and sticking to it. Like Myercheck stuck with 41, Coxie stuck with 46. Obviously, Leggy doesn't want to change. He even after we won a flag, stick with the 37, unless it's like a favourite number and stuff like that they want to move to. I'm all for a player grabbing the number regardless of what it is and taking that to the next level and making it their own. So 29 is an interesting number for the Collingwood Football Club of past players who have worn this number. Obviously, Joe Richards wore the number in the last 2 seasons. Before that, so Charlie West has obviously got that number now moving forward, and I really hope that he can make that his own, because we haven't really had a standout 29, I would have thought, since probably Scotty Russell. And I think he left Collingwood for Sydney. I think it would have been like in 2000, I believe. Before that, another one was, I believe, Kevin Rose was 29 for Collingwood. But Scotty Russell, growing up, he was one of my favourite players. He played 100 and I think he would have played close to 200 games. I think he just missed it. It would have been like 190 something games for Collingwood before he went over to Sydney. And I think he was at Sydney for a couple of years and then obviously retired. But I mean, throughout that time when we were like, the Collie Wobbles were massive, and you know, we didn't really have much from the year that we last made the finals in 94 all the way through till 2000. I mean, he was the number 29. He was like the pinnacle, one of the pinnacle players of my childhood, like Scotty Russell, Presty, Andrew Shawbull, Scotty Crow. I mean, if you remember these names, I mean, they're just iconic names for the Collingwood supporter in his late 30s. So interesting number. I really hope that he can make this one his own. Okay, so Will Hayes has got number 39. We need no introduction on to who wore number 39 in the past, and probably one of the best 39s ever was Heath Shaw. I mean, that was... we shall not speak of the greatness that he took that number to, obviously, in 2010. I mean, if you want to go back into you want to talk about, like I did when we made the grand final video for 2023, or when I spoke about that and what you were doing that day and the euphoria that you got after we won the grand final in 2023. If you're going to go back to 2010, and if you want to talk about euphoria moments and that type of stuff, seeing that number 39 run behind Nick Riewoldt and smother that footy in the 2010 grand final replay, that was probably one of the best moments of like getting up and yelling and screaming and getting pumped up, and from not a goal being scored. Like, you know, when a goal gets scored and you go nuts and, you know, you're pumped up and whatever. When he did that, for me, then the game was won. It was like, how can they come back from this? And it's only a couple of goals. We're in the first quarter, whenever it was, first quarter. How can they look what we've just done to their captain? How can they come back from that? And that number is just, it's entrenched in Collingwood folklore, in grand final folklore. It's such a grouse number. It's for the bigger ones. And I believe that when Dale Thomas went to Carlton, he actually took that number because he's really close mates with Heath Shaw, and he took the 39 because Heater wore it. Another Collingwood player to wear number 39, I do believe, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong here, I stuffed up, but I'm going back into the memory banks now. 1996 to 1999, I'm pretty sure Scotty Crow wore this for Collingwood. I think he would have played close to 80 games or something like that for Collingwood. I should probably just look it up. Give me a second. Let's drag this here. Scotty Crow, 96 to 99, 62 games for Collingwood, and he kicked 35 goals. I mean, if you're in your mid to late 30s and you've been following Collingwood since you were born, you would know exactly like who Scotty Crow is. It's just, I just remember seeing Scotty Crow sort of at the feet running in when Sav was marking the ball and stuff. And it was good times, man, good times. So if you want to go back on numbers and stuff like that, and I look at numbers in the Collingwood list and I think to myself, like, who's like, what's a number that hasn't peaked at Collingwood in a really, really long time? Like, you know, you got Lipinski, you had Leon Neon, Fasolo wore it for a bit when he was a bit of a cult figure. I mean, number 2's always been awesome. I mean, Jordan De Goey, Taz got that number when he came back. Tony Francis had that during the day. Like, you're talking Collingwood royalty here. And then Shane Woden got that when he came to Collingwood. And I mean, if you want to talk about that, that's I do anyway. But that was like when, you know, he came in 2003 right after we lost that grand final, and that season he just dominated. I remember that Queen's birthday game against Melbourne. He almost kicked a goal from the boundary. Everyone was going nuts. In the grand final in 2003, he kicked our first goal right in front of the MCC members before we got slapped. You know, 2004 he was okay, and then 2005 he just, you know, you could tell it was the end of his career, and he always wanted to get back to Melbourne. So that's one of the numbers that's always been good at Collingwood. I can go through the whole thing. But I reckon the one number, and probably because it's my favourite number, but the one number at Collingwood that I don't think's actually peaked is number 19. So obviously Graham Wright wore number 19, and then it sort of had a bit of a lull time, and then Nick Davis got it. And Nick Davis took that at times to a level which was just fucking awesome, yeah? And then I think Andrew Williams had it for a bit. And then after that, I can't remember, Cameron Wood had it as well. And then Jamie Elliott got it after he got drafted. He wore the 35 for the first year. Then he went to 19 for a few years. And I wish he had kept it. That would have been awesome if he kept it. And then obviously Levi Greenwood took it. And probably when Greenwood took it for those years that he played with us like that, I think it was like 15, 16, 17, you know, just the tagging role. I just loved seeing it out there. Now TJ's got it, so I'm really hoping that can. I know Arlo Draper had it, but he obviously didn't get a crack at it, which is unfortunate. But you know, I really want to see the number 19 at Collingwood go through. At the end of the day, their numbers, and I hope everyone plays well. But you know, you can go through the whole list, and we'd be here forever. But that's just like one of the numbers. The other number for me personally is I love seeing Ryan Loney wear the 37, especially in the early 2000s. And I'll just leave you with this before I go. The moment when Ryan Loney, there's two moments at the 37. When Ryan Loney got the ball, and mind you, like 37 is not really a number that needs to be improved. I mean, Ryan Loney had it, Bruzzy had it, and now Markov's got it. Markov won a flag in it. But it was a moment where Ryan Loney got the ball against Melbourne. I think it might have been 2003. He took it from the half-back line and he ran the entire length, kicked it from on the 50, and he celebrated, and it went through, and it was just, the crowd went nuts, I remember. And probably the greatest assist of all time in a Collingwood finals, he got the ball from the same spot in the 2002 preliminary final against Adelaide. I was 13 years of age, sitting in the AFL members, and he got the ball and he ran from the same half-back. He got the 1-2, so he got the ball, chipped it, got the hand pass back, ran off. I think he got it back off Betheris, I can't remember, or was it Glenn Freeborn? Can't remember. Oh, Freeborn. And he ran all the way down, and he's just busted the packs. No one can catch him. He's running diagonally through the centre square, and he just chips a nice one over, and Anthony Rocca marks it. He turns around, and I remember it was probably, I think it was Dacos and Stephen Silvani and Anthony Hudson were doing the call, and one of them might have been Stephen Silvani. He turned around when Rocca turned around, and he said, if this doesn't bring the roof off the MCG, nothing will. And he kicked it 65 metres out, drop punt, gave us the momentum, and it was just, that was just a day to remember. But yeah, that was a good number 37. It's got a lot of history with the club. You know, I could talk here all night. I said it's going to be a quick video. It's gone on for ages. Thank you for tuning in. They're the numbers. I've told you. Drop a comment and tell me what was like your favourite number of a player that you loved watching. Tell me if there is a number on the list that you want to see more out there, if there's a specific player. But it's an awesome topic of conversation. I love talking about the different numbers that have sort of disappeared over the years, and we haven't had a star player like wear it. Call it as you see it. And as always, K the pies.